question before we move to the next section? So, we have Dr. Sharon Johnson. She's a very good colleague of mine. He's going to be talking about competitive position and monitoring our quality here at Charleston Southern. He's also a management teacher here, and I'm sure lots of people have him for business ethics.
4 years ago, I did have ties and a coat. When I arrived from Ohio, I now no longer own ties. Just takes time.
Still on coats.
I still have coats because it gets cold. You'll see. I'm here to do two things. One is to inform you, and the other is to inflame you. And you will see what I mean by that, because that's what I do. I am a director of institutional research for this university, and one of the things that I do is to handle assessment activities on campus. It is our desire to deliver what we promise. Every MBA program promises quality. The question is, how would you know that that promise has substance to it? And that's my job on campus, is to make sure that we have substance backing our promises. So, what do we do? First of all, I just want you to know that quality, whether in a program or whether in your work, is never accidental. And it's a result of choices, very intentional choices, and very innovative action. I use a little acronym called OUDA, O-U-D-A, talking about observing, understanding what we've seen, deciding what changes might move the program forward, and then acting. And we try to be fast on the OUDA loop. We try to move from seeing what our students are encountering, both in the classes while they're in the program, and also after they graduate. We try to understand what are the factors that lead to that, and then to decide what we can do to help that, and then to act and create a better MBA program than the one that you graduated from. I tell people that the your MBA degree is worth precisely what our reputation is at the time that you use it. That's 5 years from now, you have a stake in our program being better. It's our intention to be that. We need your help participating in various kinds of assessments that we do. We have a major field test we do that checks on knowledge. You will hear about that in your strategy classes, because that's where we give that. And that allows us to compare ourselves from year to year, but also to national samples. It allows us to determine where we're weak and where we're strong, and then to find ways to become stronger and to overcome any limitations we may face. You will also hear about the student satisfaction inventory. We'll actually give that next fall, and that asks you to tell us about what your experience has been with various things and services on campus, but also how important those are. We take a look at those questions, and each question rated by satisfaction and by importance, and we take a look at what we call the gap. And that is, if something's not very important and we're doing okay in it, then it's probably not a target for change. But on the other hand, if there's something that's very important and you feel dissatisfied by it, then that is a target for change. We also do student evaluations of courses and teachers. That's an online evaluation for every course that you will take. Those are very important. They are looked at by directors and deans. The teachers like myself, we are compared to other teachers within the MBA program, and also we're compared to national samples also. We also give entering and exit surveys, and have we already done the entering survey yet?
Probably not part of their orientation.
Part of the orientation, and so you'll get a chance to tell us some things that are important for us to know. Then you'll also take an exit survey. Seniors, people who are graduating do that, and they let us know about their experience and what they liked and what they didn't. I just know, just as an impartial observer, that I always get tremendous survey results, not just because I handle the system. We also do special surveys. We may ask you, we may have surveys asking you about how well what we're teaching you is how you can implement that in your job. So you may find us halfway through asking questions like that. There's always things that we want to know. If, for example, we have a marketing program going on in terms of advertising in various ways, then we may ask you, have you seen it? Have you heard it? And those special surveys you'll get a chance to take also. So we need your participation in those. So we benchmark with other universities, both locally and nationally. We examine the classes that we have. We're concerned about, we want to know that you can get through the program. You know that we cannot offer every course every term. We don't have an infinite supply of Christian professors of business. And so we take a look at those. It is our plan for you to graduate on time. You'll need to work with Rachel on that and make sure, because all of that is premised on things happening in a sequential kind of way. We do talk about the quality and delivery of our courses. If we discover that there are certain conceptual arenas that our students are not doing well on compared nationally or over time, then we will try to correct our courses so that those are covered and in more detail. We also do care about student preferences. We do care about how you feel about things and what you would wish to take. But of course, you would know that we have to think through those. Somebody might want every single course offered online. There are some courses that we believe are better handled in a blended setting than they are online. And we have some teachers, particularly when we use adjunct teachers, we may have adjuncts that are not as familiar with online delivery. And so we do care about your opinion, and we do seek to respond to it. I'm going to get to this, but I'm going to do my other part. That was the information part. The inflame part is my privilege to do. Because I do assessment, because I work with various departments on campus, I think a lot about learning effects. We learn because we want to learn, because we have a passion for discovery. Discovery of things both outside, but also inside ourselves. And learning that makes a real difference is unreasonably costly. It takes more time and more energy, carries more frustration than seems to be reasonable. Encountering such knowledge is more akin to a wrestling match than a friendly conversation. And gaining such knowledge must be approached as preparing for a marathon rather than practicing for a 100-yard dash. Passion is the choice to value the prize more than the pain. Passion believes that the ends do justify the means. MBA programs like ours provide a process whereby passion can be directed and disciplined. Excitement is external and temporal. It eventually cools and then settles. If you're married, you know that. I'm less excited about my wife, but more passionately in love with her now. Because passion is internal and eternal. It remains both hot and unsettling. My children always say, "Don't talk like that." I'm old, not dead. Our MBA program is dedicated to the passionate, to those who believe, as Robert Frost once said, that ashes testify that what was there went out burning. Our promise to you is to provide a process that will provide the kindling wood of knowledge. We need you to provide the spark of passion that turns that lumber into learning. My 9th grade civics teacher, who may believe that I learned nothing, Mrs. Jen, I know that because every class we had to say, "Good morning, Mrs. Jen." But she did tell me something that I did remember. She said we have 3 choices in this life. We could choose to be stones, inert objects that neither take anything in nor give anything out. And they're only good really for holding doors open for others. We could choose to be sponges, absorbing stuff that is poured on us by others, but only giving back when we're squeezed. Or we could choose to be sparks, those who make things happen, who blaze with energy and who really do make a difference. We cannot make that choice for you. That is your choice. Stones, sponges, and sparks are the product of choice, not chance, and choice, not circumstance. Today, right here, right now, I would encourage you to join with us as passionate sparks. I know Christ would ask no less of us, and I pray that you would ask no less of yourself. My daughter is a certified firefighter, as well as a paramedic. She tells me that a fire requires 3 elements: oxygen, fuel, and ignition. Our MBA program will provide the material and the setting, what we call the oxygen of our courses. But you have to provide the spark. For your sake, for your family's sake, for our sake, and for Christ's sake. Choose to be a passionate spark. It is a choice you will never regret. Today, then, welcome to the MBA Fellowship of the Flame. Thank you.
Okay. Now we're going to go over the MBA curriculum. So if everybody would get out their blue papers out of their folder. It's a little wet here. And if everybody would take out their cardstock, the yellow cardstock. It says MBA curriculum at the top. MBA curriculum. Okay. So we're going to go through what it takes to finish an MBA. Okay? For some of you that come in, you've spoken with me because you need some foundation courses or prereq courses. If you look on your MBA checklist, the ones that are at the top labeled prerequisite courses, you may need all of these, you may need some of these, depending on where you are. The ones that I have listed here, 501 through 506, meet online, and they're graduate level prereqs. Meaning if you make a C in one of these 6 courses, it will count as a C in the MBA program. It does count against your GPA, and it does count as, it's not like it's an undergrad course where, it doesn't matter what I'm making it. If you make an A, you'll receive an A towards your GPA. If you make a C, it counts as one of your Cs. In the MBA program, you're only allowed to make 2 Cs and graduate. On your 3rd C, you're expelled from the program. So take even the prerequisite courses very seriously as you move through. Now, if online prerequisites are not going to be good for you whenever you're trying to study financial accounting, managerial accounting, that kind of stuff, if you see the side of prerequisite courses I've listed, Accounting 1, BUSI 211, or BUSI 501, or Accounting 210. Now, for some of you who came to Charleston Southern a few years ago, Accounting 1 was BUSI 211. If you took that course a few years ago, we're accepting it as Accounting 1. From this point on, that same course has now been listed as Accounting 210. So for you guys that are new coming in, needing Accounting 1 as a prerequisite, you have 2 options. You can take BUSI 501, or you can take Accounting 210. Okay? Accounting 210 is going to be face-to-face. BUSI 501 is going to be online. Okay, so those are your options. So as you move through the prerequisite list, the others are very similar. BUSI 502 is Accounting 2. Accounting 211 is Accounting 2. Okay, so there's kind of like a pattern as you go through. For those of you who came in that need both management and marketing, okay, you can take BUSI 503 and it will cover your management prereq and your marketing prereq. But again, these are online. If online is not how you choose to take courses, that's fine, but you'll be required to take a management prereq and a marketing prereq because there's not a combination of the 2 offered face-to-face. So for you, whenever you look at management, you will need to take Management 310 in order to satisfy that, and you need to take Marketing 310. Or you can take 503 to cover both. If you came in needing one or the other, you can still take 503. Just know that half of it is going to be one that you already came in with. Or you can take the other one, just one, face-to-face. So for instance, if I came in and I only need management, my marketing was met, then I could take 503 and it would cover management. Or I could take Management 310. Is that making sense? Okay. 505 is the same way. For those of you who came in needing both economic courses, micro and macro, 505 will cover both of those if you take it online. If you don't, you have the same kind of option. You can take Econ 211, which will cover your micro, or you can take Econ 212, cover your macro. But you would require to take 2 face-to-face or 1 online. Okay? And then if you came in needing micro but not the other one, same kind of thing as the management marketing. Whenever we get down to business law, if you came in and you didn't have a business law in your undergrad, you're required to take business law. But it comes down here and counts as your general elective or law. So you would take 620, and that would cover your general elective or law. Even though it's listed in the prereq area, it comes down here and counts as an elective. So you don't lose anything. And if you took law in undergrad and you really liked it and you want to take 620, that's also an option for you. It won't be required that you take it, but if it's one of the electives that you want to take, that's fine. Okay? Whenever we move to the core MBA courses, regardless of what emphasis you choose, everyone is required to take the same 6 core courses. Okay? And it's a little bit of everything. The management, the marketing, the ethics, accounting, finance, and then our capstone is strategic planning. So you can kind of see how your prereqs limit you for what you can take in the core. If you haven't taken your management prereq, and you haven't taken your marketing prereq, you can't take the master's level management or the master's level marketing. If you haven't met your accounting 1 and 2, you can't take advanced managerial. If you haven't met your finance, you can't take finance. So you can see how getting those prereqs kind of out of the way earlier helps to be able to open up more things of what you're eligible to take next. Now, some people, I recommend if they take accounting 1 and accounting 2, and they feel like, hey, this is really hard, but I'm glad I made it through it, go ahead and take the advanced managerial accounting right after that, while it's fresh in your head, right after you complete that. You can do the same thing with the management and the marketing as you move through. Okay. The next section is the Quasi-Core, and everyone chooses one course out of the courses listed here. Now, this is where your econ kind of comes in, because almost all of these require econ as a prerequisite. So, as you move through your core, you can kind of see where your strengths are. If you're a math person, this is going to be one of the chances for you to excel. The management information system is still very quantitative, but I have found in my experience that 614 either has a support group or a hate group. So it has two bookends, and there's not a whole lot in between. And what I found, the difference of why people either stand over here and they're like, woohoo, I'm carrying the flag of the parade, or either I'm burning this book whenever I finish this course, is whether or not they're a computer person. If you're the kind of person who sits at a computer for 9 hours a day, and you get home and you don't even want to turn on another computer, this isn't the course for you. If you're the kind of person who always wants to learn about information systems and different concepts, and you're interested in maybe taking many more programming courses and stuff, like this gives you a good foundation. Okay? So, and we can kind of talk whenever you go to choose a course like this, where your strengths are. Because we don't want to put you in the course and halfway through you say, this is more than I expected, this is not what I was expecting out of the course, and then we have to withdraw you and you kind of lose the tuition money for the course that you put in. Okay? Whenever we move to the general elective or the law, like I said before, if you did not have a business law in your undergrad, you're required to take contemporary business law and the legal environment. Now, you can take any other general elective if you've already met your law requirement. So if you look in the elective course listing, anything that is listed over here in the general management, you can choose from if you've already met your law requirement. So when you're coming down here, and even if you're trying to get your feet wet, like you're not really sure what emphasis you want to take, but say you see that, you know, hey, this international business and trade is looking like a good course for me. Well, international business and trade counts towards the finance emphasis. So say you take that course and you say, yeah, more of this, then finance might be where you're headed. If you took the course and said, not really sure, I might want to move a different direction, you don't really lose anything by taking that course because you counted your general elective, and you still have 3 other courses to choose for your emphasis. Does that make sense? Okay? But if you came in needing business law, that is your general elective. So the next 3 electives you pick are kind of slated for that emphasis. Okay? So you can't really say, well, I took accounting, the 517 course, but then I decided I didn't really want to do accounting. Then at that point, the next emphasis is general management, because that's a combination of any of the courses listed here. Okay, so it's going to be really hard for you to take 2 accounting courses and then decide, but I kind of wanted an MIS emphasis. Well, you're in a completely different direction, and you're going to take more courses to be able to get that. Okay, so you're required to take 9 hours in your emphasis. We offer 5 different emphases: leadership, accounting, finance, management information systems, and general management. So if you look on the back of your elective course office, it shows you which courses count under which emphasis. Okay? So students may take any combination of electives to receive a general management. So say you took human resources, but then you also took federal tax, and then you went and took a data security course, you're going to get a general management emphasis because you just chose any kind of combination. If you took cost accounting, federal tax, 1 and 2, then you're getting an accounting. If you took advanced human resources, entrepreneurship, executive communication, you're in the leadership emphasis. Is there any questions about that? About where you fall? You're going to be required to pick an emphasis. So I'm going to be sending out an email and an announcement later where you have to tell me where you want me to stick you and what track. Okay? Yeah.
Are you able to take 2 emphases? Like say I want to take accounting and finance. Am I able to do that?
You are able to do that. That would be 3 courses in each emphasis. Okay? Any other questions about that? Okay. I have an all-star lineup coming up next after we talk about the catalog requirements, where different professors are going to speak about why you should choose an accounting emphasis, why you should choose a finance emphasis, where it's going to kind of take you. So we have a 2 of first 5 rule, which means that we really like for 625 and 635 to be 2 of your first 5 MBA level classes. 625 is a master's level accounting, 635 is a master's level finance. The reason why we do this is we don't want you to be 8 courses in before you take the finance and then realize, oh wow, this is really difficult and I don't know if I'm going to make it through. Okay, so keep that in mind because you're allowed to take 3 MBA level classes while you're taking your prereqs. So if you take your management and marketing prereq and you take 610 next, and you realize by the end of your 3 classes you've been taking 2 courses at a time, a prereq and a core class, and then, oh, I'm 3 classes in, my next 2 classes really need to be 625 and 635, but I don't want to take them together, but I'm already 3 classes into the program. So this is something that you kind of have to pre-plan when you're going to fit in and when you're going to take. Okay? And then before you can take the capstone, which is 650, you have to complete 610, 615, 625, and 635. You have 6 years from your start date to complete the MBA program. And if you sit out 2 major semesters, meaning you don't take courses in the fall and you don't take courses in the spring, you will have to reapply to the program to take courses with us because you've been inactive for 2 semesters. Okay? And that would also be spring and fall. Yes?
You briefly touched on capstone. Can you go into what that entails?
The strategic planning course is 650. Strategic planning and analysis. You have to take 610, 615, 625, and 635 before you take strategic planning. So strategic planning is it kind of touches on all of these, where you're given like case studies about different companies, and you have to kind of get them where they want to be based on what their strategy is, or what their planning is for the next 5 years, or whatever the assignment is. And you're kind of given already the financials, and you're given their marketing, and you're given their management styles. And so if they give you Callaway Golf and they say, they really want to touch into the women's golfing industry, what do they need to do? Well, if you look at their financials and they don't have any money to spend on marketing, you can't just say, oh, we'll spend more money on marketing, because you're kind of given that, you're coming up with a strategic plan based on what you know about the company.
Are you actually getting out into the community and coordinating with these companies, or is it all?
It's a case study.
Okay.
It's a case study. It's a good question. Any other? Okay, grading. Unless otherwise noted in the syllabus, an A is a 90 to 100, a B is an 80 to a 90, a C is a 70 to an 80, and anything below 70 is an F. We don't have Ds in the MBA program. Okay. What takes to finish? You have to maintain a 3.0 graduate GPA to graduate. Okay. You also have to maintain a 3.0 GPA in order not to be put on probation. So for those of you who the first semester you make a B and a C, you're going to have below a 3.0. So even though you haven't made 2 Cs, you're not technically like 2 Cs for probation. You're still in probation because you're less than 3.0. So throughout your MBA tenure, you need to keep a 3.0 to graduate. Also, if you earn 1F, an FA, or WF, you're out of the program. And if you earn 3 Cs, you're also out of the program. So this is serious. Is there any questions about this?
Explain the difference between the WP and the WF.
Okay.
When you can get a WP for
Okay, so whenever you look at the academic calendar every year, there'll be a certain time that you can withdraw with the W. Okay, it's usually around midterm you have to withdraw with the W. If you withdraw with the W does not affect your GPA. It does count as an attempt. And at this university, you're allowed to attempt a course 3 times. Okay, so if you take 641 and you say, really something came up, I can't focus as much on this as I would like to, I need to withdraw. If you're before or right at the W withdrawal, then you will receive a W in the course. It will show up on your transcript, but it doesn't affect your GPA. Say 2 weeks later after midterm, you say, well, I'm past the W, what are my options? You can either withdraw at that time with a WP or WF. Now, a WP does not affect your GPA. It does still count as an attempt, and it will still show up on your transcript. It means withdrawal while you're passing the course. A WF means that you're withdrawing while you're failing the course. And really, if you're going to receive a WF from your instructor, you might as well just stick it out to the end and see whether or not, because an F and a WF is going to be the same, GPA-wise and on your transcript. Okay.
What's the financial implication of withdrawing from the class?
Chrissy would be able to touch more on that. Is it if they withdraw from the only class, they owe a portion? Like what if they're in 2 classes and they withdraw from 1?
If you withdraw from like the only class that you're in, we're gonna send a portion, like let's say you took out loans, we're gonna send a portion of your loans back to Loan Corporation, and then what that does is if it's already gone through the whole system, then it will create a balance for our business office, so then you'll have to pay that money back out of pocket.
What if they're in 2 classes and they withdraw from 1?
They're fine.
Okay.
You owe the money for the course if you withdraw.
Yes. With the W, WP, or WF, you still owe the tuition for the course,
The full tuition.
the full tuition. Yes, ma'am.
You draw during the drop edge term of the first week.
Right. So all of you that are in courses right now, Tuesday starts courses. That's the 21st. You have until the 28th to make changes to your schedule without any cost, without any penalty. You can drop, you can add, you can change. After the 28th, you will be charged for the course. Okay. Now we're going to talk about what emphasis should I select: accounting, finance, leadership, management, creation systems, general management. Okay. So first up is accounting. So Dr. Duncan is the dean of the School of Business, and he's also a professor of accounting, and he also has a CPA. So he's going to talk to you a little bit about why you should pick an accounting emphasis.